everyone, welcome back to Smurfy Girly World, and today we are talking about the fragrances of Lolita Lempicka. I've just got a small collection here of 4 of their fragrances that I wanted to share with you, give you my first impressions of, and see what I think about the differences between them, etc, etc, and perhaps they need to be explored in depth in another video. It's just a quick overview of what I've got right now, and I wanted to start out by saying a massive thank you to Tammy from Forever Fragrant Kid. So she has an Instagram account, Forever Fragrant Kid, and she also has a YouTube account where she comments on most of us frag reviewers videos. Very nice lady, very positive person, in really a pillar of the fragrance community, and she was kind enough to send me a big bag of samples, and it was actually because of her that I first got to experience Lolita Lempicka fragrances. So thank you, Tammy. And that's the reason why I now have a little collection sitting in front of me. Another shout out to Lola from Lola Scents channel. It was actually her love of the original Lolita Lempicka fragrance that has got me interested in the very first place. So thanks, Lola. Do check out her channel. It's amazing. She has a really great variety of fragrances on her channel, and I love the way that she talks about them. So I'll link her channel below so that you can check her out if you don't already. On with the video. So what do I have in front of me? First of all, I'm going to show you the very original fragrance from Lolita Lempicka. It came out in 1997 and the perfumer is Annick Manado. Now this then got discontinued in 2010. What I have here is what my brother got me for my birthday. I'll show you it in the set that I've got to start with. I can't seem to get that back in there. So on eBay I saw this, I believe it to be the original, and that's the original fragrance there, and it came with this lovely body cream, and it's clearly some kind of Christmas edition with a reindeer there. So gorgeous gift set there. Big thank you to Big Sprig, that's my brother, for getting that for me for my birthday. And let's I've already pre-sprayed a very professional scent strip there, and I've just written OG on it because it's the original fragrance. Ah, it's gorgeous. So the original, I've got my notes because there's a few notes here. The original notes for this one: violet ivy, star anise, iris amaryllis, licorice, orris root, cherry, tonka, vanilla, vetiver, musk, and praline. And when I smell it, what do I get? So I get something that's lightly sweet, not sugary sweet, just lightly sweet and fuzzy and fluffy and powdery. I definitely notice the licorice and the vanilla and maybe just a hint of that violet. And there's just something fresh and green in there, which is potentially the ivy, but I don't really know what ivy smells like. I've never got up close and personal to ivy bushes. I do like houses when they're covered in ivy, but I think that's a problem for the house owner. I think they're a bit, they take over a house, I think, and cause problems. But the ivy doesn't take over this fragrance. It just kind of gives it a subtle greenness, which I guess probably keeps it from being too sweet. Do I smell praline? Not exactly. Do I smell tonka? I get I get a hint of, it's just an overall kind of slightly amber-like sweetness, which is a kind of mix of tonka, almond, slightly almondy and vanilla-y. And it's spicy. The licorice kind of makes it a bit spicy, and I guess the star anise, which is also a bit like licorice, gives it that spiciness. So that is the original fragrance. Oh, cherry. Yeah, maybe. It's kind of like a tiny bit fruity, just a little tiny bit fruity, which could be that cherry note. So overall, I think the notes do give you a really good idea of how this one smells. So that is the OG. Now let's go to Le Premier. So this one is a gift from Mr. Smelly for my birthday, and this is a little 30ml one. The premiere came out in 2010 and we have notes here. So again, it contains the ivy note, but it's also got pineapple, lemon, rosewood, sour cherry, anise, lily of the valley, rose, jasmine, licorice, violet, almond, vanilla, heliotrope, tonka, musk, praline, vetiver. So quite a few notes in common, but we've got an addition here of lemon and pineapple, and the cherry's described as sour. Let's have a sniff. It is a little different. I don't really pick up on pineapple. Oh yeah. So the premiere is fresher and lighter. This OG, the original, is much more intense, thicker. Layers of, now I'm really getting it, layers of resins and vanilla, but slightly sweet. Premiere feels like your summer day option. It's a bit sweeter, a little bit fresher, a little bit sharper, probably from those, from the lemon maybe. There's still a hint of greenness, a fresh kind of greenness. And you still get the licorice, but it's not so pronounced. But that's just been sprayed in the last 10 minutes. It may well develop and change, but so far I'd say the original formula is more my cup of tea, but they need proper testing side by side. So that's Premiere. Now let's go on to this one, which I bought for myself. I found it on eBay and it's called Midnight Couture Black. Midnight Couture Black, and then I think it also says Eau de Minuit. So this one came out in 2011 and the notes are licorice, iris, jasmine, myrrh, benzoin and vanilla. Check out the stunning bottle. The pictures don't do it justice. I wasn't sure if this was going to be really cheap and tacky, these leaves, but I don't think they are. This is a perfect Halloween fragrance really, and you spray it from that nozzle there. So I am chuffed to bits purely just with the bottle to start with. So let's have a sniff. So I pre-sprayed it on here. This one I would say is definitely related to the original one, but there's a lot more licorice and almost a hint of leather going on here. So let's take the OG. Oh, it's difficult actually. I'd say the original's a little bit sweeter. This could be absolutely worn by a man happily without any worries at all that he smells feminine. It's really difficult to pick out what's different about them, but they are different. The original is more my cup of tea at the moment, I think, probably because it's got slightly sweeter elements and some violet, which I adore. But this one, the black one, Black Couture, is slightly more gothic, slightly less sweet. It's still multi-layered, it still feels resinous, it still is a little bit sweet, but just not quite so sweet. I slightly prefer the original, but again, I'm only just kind of giving it a very brief first impressions on paper, so do not take my word for it at this point in time. Let's move on then to, I've got a different one altogether here, and this one's called, this is actually a flanker, and it's called Elle L'aime à la Folly. So the L is spelled E-double-L-E. Don't confuse it with Elle Lolita, which is just the capital letter L, then Lolita. This is actually the French word for female, E-double-L-E, Elle L'aime à la Folly. It's a tester. I don't have a lid. Has this little plasticky thing that says Eau de Parfum Extreme à la Folly on it. and this is nothing like, and isn't supposed to be like, anything else here. The fragrance came out in 2013. As I said, it's a limited edition, and the notes are mandarin, of bergamot, ylang ylang, jasmine, of myrrh, amber and sandalwood. So this was a blind buy on eBay. I paid around about £20 for it, and it's kind of hard to find, so you need to keep your eyes peeled for this one. Decided to jump on it because Tammy sent me the original of this, not the Elle Folly version, and I liked it, but I was interested to smell a more intense version with the sort of deeper, darker notes in it as well. Not quite sure what I think of this one. It's sweet. You can definitely smell the ylang ylang. There's something in there. It's a little bit, I really hate to say this, it almost smells a little bit like vomit. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not disgusting, but there's something a little bit sickly in there. It's actually like sickly flowers, and maybe the flowers are a bit too sweet and a bit too intoxicating. I can smell, it's like a little bit like a sunscreen kind of smell, but not quite. It's just very, very exotic, sweet flowers, you know, like the kind that bloom at midnight. And there is a darker base going on. It's not just flowers. It's on a base of something slightly woody and resinous. This definitely needs further testing, and I'm sure as time goes by, the sickliness of the flowers may well, hopefully, calm down a little bit. I'm not entirely sure if I'm loving that one at the moment. It may well end up back on eBay. But it's worth checking out if you like really heady flowers like tuberose and jasmine and that kind of stuff. It does smell a bit tuberosey actually. You know, like almost like bubblegum flowers smell. So if you like that kind of thing, you may well like that. But I'm not sure. The flowers are a bit too flowery. Maybe that's all it is for me. So that's Elle L'aime à la Folie. That is my collection at the moment of Lolita Lempicka. I'm considering letting the collection grow and adding a few more but I don't think I'm interested in these kind of bottles. I think I'm going to stick with the apples. I think I just want to grow a little collection of apples. So I may well do that. That's all. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.